So I was sitting near the victim's family. The judge had instructed no one in the courtroom to make any noises in reaction to the verdict. And for the most part, the reactions from the families, no one really made any noises. At one point, as the final count was read, there was one person who let out a sigh of what sounded like relief. Another woman shook her head up and down, yes. And it seemed to me from looking at the Richard family, of course, the parents of Martin Richard, who was killed in the bombings, that they had a very serious look on their face, that they were holding back emotion. It looked like at one point in the middle of the counts being read that the mom almost looked like she was about to cry. That's what I saw from where I was sitting.
Nicole, you've been covering this case. What have you made of the sentiment there in terms of the death penalty? Is this something that you get a sense that the courtroom wants to see?
Oh, that's a really hard question. It's hard to say. And not knowing the jurors exactly, I can't tell you. I think that they've all been picked because they are open to that option.
Yeah, I was just sort of asking if you had any conversations, particularly. What have you seen as you have been there covering this case?
It's interesting. Dzhokhar seems to have hardly any sort of reaction to anything that happened today as the verdict was read. He kind of just was looking down, playing with his hair. This morning when the jurors were brought in before they began their morning deliberations, he was kind of playing with his beard. So that's been interesting to see him in person, and just the lack of reaction as every count came back guilty.
Nicole, we were talking to Ricky Kleeman about Judy Clarke's attorney and what kind of a person that she was. Did you ever, these are sketches we're getting from that moment in the courthouse. I'm curious, during these last couple of days, she seems to be very supportive of him. In other words, and what I mean by that is you could actually see that physically, touching him, holding him by the shoulders. Did you see some of that?
I have. I've seen that throughout the time I've been here. He'll either kind of turn to them and start talking to his defense team, to Judy Clarke and to Miriam Conrad, David Burke, and, they'll start a conversation immediately when he comes in. They do look very friendly. They do pat him on the back. So it seems like they are definitely supporting him and are very professional in the way that they are defending him.